Hello, KZOOMers.
Hey, ooh.
So good to see your beautiful faces.
That was a fun way to start. I'm there.
You're there.
I'm there.
So I want to use this time that we have to really tune into this moment. We're going into Shabbat Ha'azinu, the Shabbat of listening, of giving ear, and listening in the way of calling on heaven and earth to listen with us. And that is like part of the preparation for Yom Kippur, for coming to the Holy of Holies. But it's also, I want to say, for us in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the fall equinox which always happens sometime around Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that. And we have, and Johnny and Tony are having the spring equinox, but
both equinoxes. We're both equal.
But I wanted to just bring this teaching from, I guess it's Chloe Rain, about this particular time in our spiritual process. She says, fall is the time of year that we set up our internal space and make room for what's to come in the next year. We create room for our greater visions to grow by allowing the empty space and silence to take hold of our internal spaces. This is so good for Yom Kippur, too. When we clear our internal ground in the fall, we go into dormancy and then rest in the cold and darkness of winter. We go into hibernation and become creative by not doing, by becoming quiet and listening to what is trying to emerge from within us. This is the time of year to go within and empty out space, composting our ideas and using the energy they hold to make fertile soil for new creativity and matured visions. Winter is the time of year for the rest, when the cold and freezing becomes the healing that sets the soil for spring and our rebirth. The significance of the autumnal equinox for the person walking the spiritual path is the time of year when we activate our new cycle of growth. As we become silent and rest, we are allowing space for our greater vision to emerge. As the days get shorter and the nights grow longer, we descend into the darkness of the night and face our own inner darkness, the darkness within, i.e. the ego and the subconscious, to prepare for the birth of the light within, celebrated at the winter solstice. The heart of spiritual practice is internal and is usually invisible and unnoticed by everyone else. By enacting the spiritual with a physical ritual, we can both recognize and make concrete our spiritual process that is just as much a part of our reality as the material world. So I'm setting that as part of our intention for this KZOOM, to be able to open up that internal space of listening.
With compassion.
Listening, yeah. And I wanted to begin with this practice I'm calling listening with compassion, and it is a melody that I learned almost 40 years ago from Hannah Matt, and it stayed with me so deeply as a way of attuning myself really to Yom Kippur. And it calls God by this amazing name, and it's in Aramaic, and the name is Rachamana, kind of close to Rachmiel. So may the compassionate one, may the compassionate one who cares for the poor answer us. May the compassionate one who cares for the brokenhearted answer us. And we want to also just like tune into Shabbat Ha'azinu, which is the Shabbat of giving ear and calling the witness of heaven and earth into our midst, to say we're all in this together. So let's sort of open up the gates of Yom Kippur as we use this melody to kind of step through to be able to address that compassionate one. Rachamana de So as we attempt to listen with our hearts, you want to just close your eyes, bring your attention to the breath, and bring that breath into the heart, opening the ears of the heart, and responding. And I want to say there's no listening without responding, like becoming responsive, which means also becoming responsive with God to the cries of the poor, to the tears of the brokenhearted, so the breath and the heart really helps me to focus my attention there and do that opening that I need to do. So Yom Kippur is such an intense kind of imprint of energy that I feel like it can help us to like create the groove for the rest for the year. And there's a beautiful teaching by Philo, the Greek Jewish philosopher, that says that Jews really love to eat, and he's trying to explain us to his Greek friends. Jews really love to eat. We eat all year long, and the meal is so long that the blessing after the meal takes a whole day. And that's Yom Kippur. So that's so that it's all a blessing for the great feast of our lives. And so this practice that I want to do with you, which I call mindfulness, is about listening in a way that allows us to really appreciate the meal of our lives. And God says if you, through Isaiah, God says, if you really listen to me, then you will eat what is good, the right things in the right amount, and furthermore, your souls will delight in richness. And that sense of like this meal of the year, I want to delight in it, and I also want to be attentive to not over-consume it, and to be able to, sort of follow my guidance to consume the right things, and that includes, media, news, whatever else you consume,
As well as food.
Yeah, you want it to be in the right measure and with a kind of a listening discernment. I mean, it's so funny. I'm planning this alumni retreat that's going to happen the end of October. Some people here will be there, and planning the food part of it is so complicated. It is too complicated. Food on retreat is so complicated because it has so much emotion attached to it. And so I remember that I composed this chant after the ordeal of planning food for a retreat, and I thought I finally got the perfect caterer and the perfect meals, and I remember this moment when we walked into the dining room, and this beautiful spread was spread out all the right, and I thought I finally got it right, but the anxiety level in the group just rose up, and I said to someone, "Well, what's the matter now?" And they said, "Well, we're afraid we're going to eat too much."
It's too many good choices. It looks so good. That was in Santa Fe at the retreat center in Santa Fe.
And so I was like, "Oh no!" And so that's when this practice came up. And so if you really, we used this as our Birkat Hamazon, as our blessing before the meal, to be able to tune into this practice of listening as part of the practice of consuming. So we might want to just to look ahead to the coming year, to see the feast of our lives, and to it was fabulous. So so the idea is to see that meal of the feast of our lives spread out, and know that however wonderful that feast is, that's how much discernment we need in being able to consume it with gratefulness. So
Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. V'kluto, Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. 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 Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai.
Again, close your eyes. Breathe into the heart. Open the ears of the heart. Opening up that special capacity that we have to listen. So as I'm talking to you about listening, I'm just connecting it with the dream that I had last night.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up at 3:30 in the morning.
Me too.
I might have woken you up
Yeah, maybe.
to tell you the dream because it felt like an important dream. And maybe it's connected to this listening piece. In the dream, I was instructed by a godlike voice that there was going to be kind of like a sound system set up for the whole world, that everyone could hear something together. And I was, sounds like very megalomaniac, but I was chosen as the one who would say the message that the whole world would hear through this special, kind of like a sound system or a message system, that when you spoke into a special thing, the whole world would hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I woke up at 3:30 in the morning saying, what will I say? What does the world need to hear? Anyway, it was very powerful. The dream.
They're all waiting to hear what the answer is. What did you... Do you know what you're going to say?
I'm working it out.
Oh, it's in process.
But it's so interesting because I had made this commitment for Tashlech and for Rosh Hashanah. I made this commitment that said, this love at the center work that I'm doing, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to convince anybody else. I just want to live it myself. So at the same moment where I'm saying, like, I don't want to broadcast this around the whole world. That's not my job. I just want to live it myself. Then I get this dream that says, no.
Well, both.
So I offer that to you, listening friends. And this idea of listening, that we are listening for our deployment. We are listening for the messages. We're listening for what the next step is, and we're also asking the whole world to listen. So these words from Shir Shirim, for the Parshat Hazinu, says, Chaverim Makshivim lekolech. Chaverim Makshivim are the listening friends, and that's us, the listening friends. And through our listening, we amplify our listening. And when we're listening to lekolech, for the voice of the Shekhinah, which is what is the kind of the hidden presence of God that is always everywhere in this world, and yet it gets obscured or overshadowed. And so we need to listen carefully for that voice. And then we say, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini, let me hear it. Let me hear it. And so and then the English words say, a woman in the garden. And that's referring to Shekhinah, the one who is that presence of God that is hidden, a woman in the garden. And as I was creating this chant, I said to the guides, what garden? And they said to me, this garden of love, this garden of love. And when they said those words, like the veil came off my eye, and I looked around, and I saw, oh, this is a garden of love, which I hadn't even noticed. I was kind of distracted, kind of preoccupied. I didn't notice this garden of love. So a woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Let me listen. And I think that us coming together is a way of listening much deeper, deeper
and deeper.
Because we sort of give each other that, create that space together, even on Zoom, to be able to listen to the voice of the Shekhinah, or maybe to the voice of our dreams. So Chaverim Makshivim, you listening friends, maybe take a look around the KZOOM room, and to sort of see these are the listening friends here, that we're listening together for the voice of the Shekhinah, and kind of need each other in that.
Shelby and Alan, wow, awesome.
No, that's Aviva Malka.
Oh my goodness. What'd you do to your hair?
Looks good.
It looks great. I thought you were someone else.
So I want to connect with all the listening friends, and it's kind of like making a commitment to listening, making a commitment to sort of the deeper place. And I remember what I said about our spiritual process, that we want to pay attention to, is just as much a part of reality as the material world. And so we want to,
if not more so,
give it the attention that it needs. Chaverim Makshivim Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love,
Hashmi'ini, Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini.
Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini, Chaverim Makshivim Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, I'm in the garden, this garden of love. Let me hear your voice. Oh, I'm in the garden, this garden of love. Let me hear your voice. So I'll take a couple minutes just to listen inwardly to that voice of Shekhinah. So in order to listen, in order to hear and respond out of our own depths, we need to be awake. And that's really what the spiritual path is. It's a path of awakening. So a couple years ago, my good friend and teacher, Melila Helner, sent me this pasuk from a Yom Kippur Morning Piyyut, a poem that's only said on Yom Kippur, that refers to the Song of Songs. And the way that she translated it for me is, awaken as a bright light, the rose of the depths. Awaken as a bright light, the rose of the depths. It seems a little bit of a mixed metaphor. But this idea, the way that shoshanat amakim, which is, sometimes just translated as the lily of the valleys, but the word for valleys also means the depths. And so the understanding is that we have inside us this rose that is tight as a bud, like a bud that's tight inside us. It is awaiting our attention. And so as we chant, we are chanting to that tight bud in the heart, which is our potential, and awakening that rose of the depths so that it can blossom into its fullness and its beauty and its fragrance to waft into the world. So I want to use that image for each of us to find that image of the rosebud in the heart that is tight, that is awaiting the light of consciousness, because that's what opens it up. So we're going to bring that divine light of consciousness to our own tight bud in the heart, the place that is closed up in us, and just anticipating Rosh Hashanah as the time when we give it such good attention that it gets to open for us, and so that each of us can be the blessing we were born to be. So I invite you to find that image in the depths of your heart. And when we chant, we can chant to that. And in the silence after the chant, we can allow it to open.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are shruting, I'm going to do this with a E and a B.
E and B. Shoshanat amakim Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah 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 shoshanat amakim.
So really sing to that bud in the heart.
Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah shoshanat amakim Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah shoshanat amakim Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah Oraryr nogah shoshanat hamakim Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah shoshanat hamakim Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah shoshanat hamakim Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah shoshanat hamakim Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah shoshanat hamakim Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah Oraryr keor nogah shoshanat hamakim.
So bring all of your attention to that tight bud in the heart. And we'll breathe in the energy of the chant into that bud. And as you exhale, allow that bud to open into the most beautiful rose. Petal by petal, opening, opening, opening. Feeling its fragrance, which is your fragrance, filling you. Just unfurling to you the true breadth of your soul. Opening, opening, with a deep color, fragrance, and strength and delicacy. And so allow yourself to just be filled with that rose. So, and when you're ready, you could open your eyes and look out at the garden.
Oh, this garden
The
of
garden of
flower
beloveds
faces.
here. Well, so that was, I hope, a good preparation for this Shabbat Shuvah going into. Wait a minute. I'm going to look around. Look around to everybody here.
Page.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Preparation for our Yom Kippur journey into the Holy of Holies. And invite you to stop by the website to see what's going on, sign up for a retreat, the Soul Lift retreat, the end of January. Already has 12 people signed up for it, so that's going good. You don't want to miss that. And and also
you need to leave.
wait.
Know that I love you.
No, and also I did get a couple of responses from people that want this Flavors of Praise app to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And let me know by email if you're willing to contribute something to that Flavors of Praise app happening, because it's a little pricey for me to afford myself, so I'm looking for help, and a couple people have responded. So write me an email if that feels like your tzedakah this year. And we are meeting next week.
Yes.
Yes, we will be meeting
We'll-
next week. We'll still be in the
glow
of Yom Kippur,
Yeah.
and I guess will it be Sukkot? Maybe it won't be Sukkot yet.
No, not
Yeah,
till the
yeah.
following week.
But we'll be in those special days in between.
Yeah.
So I